Hi, and welcome to our CRE at Home Worship Seminars program. This is the first time we put our resources seminars online, so we really hope you enjoy them and find them practical and useful. The seminar you are about to see is brought to you by Krissy Nordhoff and is entitled Why the Church Needs New Songs, plus 10 Characteristics of Worship Songs.
Hey everybody, it's Krissy Nordhoff here with Writing Worship. I wanted to talk a little bit today about why we need new worship songs. First of all, I think it's really important for us to notice what the Bible says about new songs. And basically, number one, the Bible tells us we need new songs. So it says in Psalm 96:1, sing to the Lord a new song. Sing to the Lord, all the earth. Sing to the Lord, praise his name. Proclaim his salvation day after day. I love that it says sing a new song inside of the old songs. And I think it's meant to be a reminder for us that we wouldn't forget how important those songs are. There's a lot that's going on right now with music, and churches are writing their own songs, and it's actually seeming like a new thing, but it's a very ancient thing, and it's beautiful. So let's dig into a little bit more about why that might be a good thing. Not just because the Bible says, but how does it affect our church and our people? Well, first of all, it brings fresh praise to God, and it brings fresh revelation to us. He is a creative God. He loves being told that we love him in new ways, just like you or I would in any relationship. And bringing him a new song is a way to do that. We also receive fresh revelation as we're doing so and as we're writing these songs. And sometimes the Lord gives us just insight on how to express something in a new way that's never been expressed that same way before. You know how I feel. When you've heard a song, and for the first time it expresses a feeling that you've never been able to express. It moves you so deeply. Secondly, I believe that new songs are able to go beyond language and speak a dialect. When you write songs that are specifically for your church, you can use words that matter to your church. You can use things that are very important for your denomination. You can stay away from things that people don't want to touch on. So it's a customizable way to make sure that what they're hearing doesn't bring any distractions into the room, that they can worship right where they are as they are. And overall, you want those songs to feel like home. Third, they bring unity to the church. This conversation that would happen in a healthy dynamic where the pastor and the worship leader are having conversations about what the Lord is saying and seeing patterns in what God is speaking. And if the pastor can line his message up with a melody, it'll impact the congregation all week long. Fourth, a new song can minister to the congregation right where they are. Just like when the Israelites crossed the Red Sea, Miriam broke out that tambourine and celebrated through song and led the people through song. We can do the same thing. And it might be a high like that, a celebration, or it could be something sad, something hard that our church is walking through. But songs can speak on a heart level and bring either healing or joy to the congregation. Finally, I think new worship songs can prepare congregations for the future. Many of the songwriters in the Bible also happen to be prophets, and I believe that is still true for today. Sometimes I've written a song with no knowledge that the Lord would use it in a different way than I intended because of what was coming in the future. And many times we will write according to what the pastor has laid out as a plan for where he's leading the church. We'll write songs to help lead them in the same direction. Do I think that all we need are new songs? No, I think we need a balance. In Ephesians, Paul talks about psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs. But I've just noticed that if we're going to forget any, usually it's the new ones. But you can be a part of helping us not to forget to incorporate those new songs into our churches. I want to challenge you today to write a song for your own church. In your dialogue, something that sounds like home, something that fits your culture, that sounds like your culture. Maybe it fits a situation currently going on in your church, or maybe it's about where you're feeling your church is being led. But in any case, We want to hear what God is sharing through your voice to your church. You can share it by uploading it to SongShare, and by doing so, you'll be able to share with your church, with your city, and with your world. Hey guys, it's Krissy here with Writing Worship. I wanted to share with you today the top 10 characteristics of worship songs. I believe it's really important for us to know what identifies a worship song if we're going to be writing them for our congregations. Now, there are some things that can vary a little bit depending on seasons and cultures and styles, but there are some things that should never change. So let's dig in. Number one is the only one that should never, ever, ever change, and that is they should be true and biblically accurate, because these days song teaches theology. And we all know that that is the most important part about what we're teaching lyrically, is we're teaching what the Bible has to say. So that can't change. Number two, a community voice. So that means that our songs are usually, these worship songs are in the tense of we, as in we are all worshiping together, or you, as in we are worshiping you, Jesus. And that makes a lot of sense in a congregational context, because we want everyone to feel included. We want them to feel welcome to sing the song with us. There are the occasional I songs out there, but they're just more rare in the worship world. Number three, a simple, memorable lyric. We want everyone to be able to sing and worship more than they have to think. So keep it simple with your melody lines and the lyrics as well. Number four, stay close to an octave in range. Yes, there are some people that can jump that octave and do lots of vocal acrobatics, but for the general person in the congregation, if they're trying to figure out how to hit a note, they instantly stop thinking about worship and they're distracted. So we don't want that to happen. Keep it simple, keep it within an octave in range if you can. Number five, they can bring some sense of familiar from the church from the past, meaning it could be a reference to a hymn. It might be a lyrical reference. It might be a melodic reference. But somehow pulling in some of the history of the church is a beautiful thing that we see in many worship songs. Number six, there is always resolution or redemption thematically. I think about lots of songs that come to mind when I think of this topic, lots of worship songs. So there's nothing wrong with stating where we are or stating the honesty of our hearts or the depths that we've been in. But what makes us different as Christians is that we always have hope. And I think that's important to have expressed in our worship songs too. We always should have hope. Number seven, they show a greater picture. So sometimes we get stuck in our microscope worlds and we'll walk into church and there's this beautiful expression of widening our perspective and remembering how great God is and how this is a worldwide, a universe-wide, a heaven-wide perspective. And that's one thing that many worship songs do very beautifully. Number eight, they tell the story of the gospel very simply. They share the heart of Jesus and what he did and how he died for us. And that's really important to have in song because that's the heart of our message. Number nine, they call us to action or call us to respond. It may be lifting hands, it may be running to his arms, it may be bowing down, but they give us directives, even if it's just something we do in our hearts. Maybe we don't physically do those things, but hearing those things helps to posture hearts. And that's one thing that I know a lot of songs do. Number 10, and this might be my favorite, they remind us of what's to come. They help us keep our eyes on the hope of redemption and resolution and heaven and all of those old things passing away and no more sorrow and being with Jesus and seeing him face to face. I hope this helps you as you're writing worship songs, gives you sort of some guidelines, some guardrails. If you'd like to learn more about writing worship songs, please visit writingworship.co. We have so many resources for you there. And of course, we'd love to hear your songs at SongShare, so please upload them there, and you'll be able to share them then with your church, your city, and your world. Hey everybody, it's Krissy Nordhoff here with Writing Worship, and I wanted to share a little bit with you about the songwriter personality test today. I noticed after several co-writes, and you may have co-written some too, that there are different types of people that operate in different ways in the room. And over time, I began to sort of identify which ones I was working with as quickly as I could so that we made the best use of everyone's time. Over time, I created this songwriter personality test, and you can take it too. It's free. On the songwriter personality test, there are really three categories or three different types of writers. One is the lyric type writer, and in that section of things, we have our content writers. And then in the center of our graph, we have what we call our crafters. And those can lean either toward the lyric or toward the music. They can lean either way. And in that section, we have our hearing prophetic writers, our concept writers, our structure writers. And then on the other side of our diagram, we have our musical writers, and those are our melody writers, our producer track writers, and our chords arranging writers. Why is it important to know what kind of songwriter you are? First of all, it gives you confidence when you walk in the writing room, whether you're working on your own, honestly, or in a co-writing situation, to know what your strengths are. When you know what your strengths are when you walk in a room, you also don't have to be all the other strengths. I remember used to feeling like I had to carry everything and I had to be good at everything when I walked in the room, and that's simply not true. God made us to fit together. So when you know what your strength is, it gives you confidence, and then it also helps you to know how to work with others that have different strengths than you so that you have the best experience in the co-writing room, not only just dynamically, but also you get to create the best songs that way, bringing in strengths that are opposites. They bring together a beautiful song. So in order to take this test, you need to go visit songwriterpersonalitytest.com. It'll take you about 5 to 7 minutes. Like I said, it's a free test. It's a great tool for giving you confidence and then also helping you know how to set up your co-writes. And as always, we want to hear your songs, so please share them with us by uploading them to SongShare, where you can share with your church, your city, and your world.